so many races under his belt, he's unsure which one is memorable. But Kevin Songberg, on the other hand, many races to remember as an Australian team paddler in the C2 with Gary Nelson, notably, still at it. And we had a little chat in the car park, and I said, this one's going to hurt. There's a bit of work to do out there. And he said, I know. So Kevin will be first to finish by the look of it. Number 55 is following. That is Simon Watson, then Aidan Menzies, Jake Werrett. Let's have a look through the rest of the field. So we're watching the men's kayak heats at the Penrith Open 2026. 57 starters. The last boat down is the Tokyo Olympic champion Yuri Priskovic of Czechia. He'll be following Lucien Delfour of Australia. Finn Butcher, the kayak cross Olympic champion from Paris. He's the third from the end. From New Zealand, Zigalin Hochevar, he's ranked number 10 in the world. Tim Anderson, number 13. Martin Srabotnik from Slovenia. Ben Pope, Australia. Yuzuke Muto of Japan. Just some of the athletes towards the end of the field. Fastest boats go off at the end. 12 go through to the A final and the B final for the rest. It's a good outing all the same. It counts for selection for Australian teams. And it is part of this race. The Penrith Open is part of the ICF ranking series. So Jai Davies coming through, and there's some big scores early on. Just telling it how it is. Penalties and time added together. Kevin Songberg won't be happy with the red flag on gate 14. 240.74 for Jai Deves and 198.42 for Kevin Songberg. The only blemish is the 50 for Songberg, so he'll go again in the B final. Aidan Menzies on course along with Jake Werrett. And next to start, Louis Kayak. Kayak is quick. Let's see about that as we are following and listening to the cheers for Aidan Menzies as he goes back for gate 15. Good work. Simon Watson next to finish. A 50-second penalty. On the board so far, and a few other penalties. They seem to come in clusters with the young ones. They hit a gate and then a couple more follow, then they get back into a rhythm. So learning how to limit the damage is important. Get on with it quickly. Kevin Songberg, 198.42. Simon Watson off that score into third, 247 flat. It's the big rocks that matter at this stage. Jake Werrett, just a couple of touches early on in a good middle section. And through the finish, so he's going to be well in front of Kevin as he comes through the finish. Young Jake Werrett, 123.66, good effort. So Werrett is in the under-16 from Derwent Canoe Club. Lots of Tassie paddlers here, which is great to see. Of course, they got natural rivers down there. They're not pumping. They're just using gravity at Brady's Lake, notably. A world-class whitewater course. And for the mainlanders, it's always a great first experience Well, welcome to Tassie experience, running the drop they call the cruncher. Of course, they eat it for breakfast, the Tasmanians. So Jake Werrett's leading, Louis Queck into second, 127.69. Roland Hemmer for Australia on his way. Ari Davey has started. Has to paddle back around for gate 7. We've seen that happen quite a few times. The key thing is the wave out of gate 6, getting a good surf, holding your position and then letting the bows go. If you lose your line early, it's the roundabouts and the ring road. Bib 51, Roland Hemmer looping back around for gate 21, I think it was. So he's through to the finish line. Hemmer has a 50 on the 15 and finishes with 199.74, fourth position. Jake Werrett, Australia, leads. The Tasmanian. Kai Stafford on course. Next to go is Samuel Lindis. So Ari Davey picked up an early touch, but pretty clean through the middle section. Or has been. 15 is a little more challenging for some than they might have thought from the side. You've got to get across the river and then think about coming back for the upstream at gate 16. One thing at a time. Things you learn along the way. Kai Stafford on course. Samuel Lindis. Well, Lindis and Lindis. How about that? Back to back, Samuel and David. What's the chat like in the start pool between those two? Do they have a dark glare? How'd you go, bro, at the finish? Or is it, good luck? I've got your back. 2:16.07 for Ari Davey. Well, Kai Stafford, 1, 2, 3, and then he gets his act together. Cleans gates 4 to 16. No more of that, please. That's what he's saying to himself. It's about fast and clean. Don't forget the clean bit. So Lindus, Elul, Daniel, and then it's Tombio. Maximus Karamzales, Alexander Elul. So there's some family members together here. Zach Kaisela, Toby Watkins, and then we go international. The first of the international athletes is Vit Dvorak. He's an under-18 from Czechia, missing some school to be here training in the warm weather. Reese McRae is also a junior from the USA, so great experience for them and great for our Australian youngsters to match it against some international competition. Number 48, the bottom, that's Samuel Lindis. 2:43.87 for Kai Stafford. So the middle looked all right, but the start and the finish quite colourful on the scoreboard. So Lindis boys 15. Well, I wonder if they separate, if they get a tie, do they say I came out first when it's twins? So I'm ahead. We use the rankings like that. Yeah, high ranked from you by birth. Anyway, that's something for someone else to decide. In the kitchen, number 47, that is David. He's going to finish Samuel's finished 161.54, and here comes David through to the finish line. Tom Bio now on course. Takes a roundabout route through 5, holds himself. Now he's got to catch that wave, surf the wave. That's it. He knows the script. Gets across and settles in. So good top section from Tom Bio. Lindis, number 2. David pips his brother, 128.48. And into third position for David Lindis. Samuel Lindis in 4th, a little bit behind. But well done, Lindis boys from Tasmania. Great to have you here. Jake Werrett, still leads, 123.66. Tom Bio on course. He's up on the split, but takes a wide line after gate 12. Back on track now through 13, just the bottom section to go. No trouble for Bio through 15. And a good upstream on 16. So holding a good run together. And good support for Tom Bio. Nicely done on the spin. And sets himself up for the final upstream. He's got to hurry up. He's just a second. Oh, and he's got to get through to the last gate, but cuts the line. And now the paddle back up. So Jake Werrett safely holds on to the lead. 123.66. Good run from Tom Bio, but disappointing for him at the end. And he goes into third place, 127.96, with a penalty to add as well. So it's not over till it's over. A bit like Scotty James landing in that half-pipe final. What a great run that was. Maximus Karamzalis on course, plus 20 on the split. And then it is, well, we've seen Daniel Elul. And then it's Alex in the under 18s. Daniel, the younger brother. It's a family sport, isn't it? Just saying. Here we go, coming into gate 11. Bib 43, that's Alexander Elul. And he gets away from gate 12. Maximus has a red flag on gate 15. We're still a long way to go. 40 plus boats. So in about half an hour's time, we'll be counting people through into the final, top 12 into the A final, rest into the B final at the 2026 Penrith Open, part of the ICF ranking series. And depending on the quality of the field, you earn points. And the better the field, the better the points. In fact, they're lower points. It's not high points. And the Australian races are always good money in that sense. So good results here can help you in the overall global rankings. Through to the finish for Alexander Elul, 128.84, ahead of his younger brother. Zach Kaisela on course. He's bib 42, and number 41 is Toby Watkins. Oh, let's go, Toby. He's got some work to do. He just makes it just in time on gate 7, has to spin out. He's falling off the wave. He knew what was happening, and good corrective action to stay in touch. Spins again. gate 9. Doesn't lose too much by doing that. When you're running late, you've still got to catch the bus. And he did that. So Toby Watkins, another Tasmanian. They're everywhere. Kayak. Lots of Victorians too. From Melbourne Canoe Club, Zach Kaizella. Here comes Kaizella through to the finish. 151.64. Sixth position. Jake Werrett leads. Toby Watkins chases.
It's just going to be a short delay. We have to reboot the scene.
Now.
As soon as the people are off the course.
Toby Watkins was up on the first split. He's carrying a couple of penalties. He's dropped a little bit low in the final up. It's a close finish. 123.66 is the lead. He's just outside of that. Will he squeeze into second? Watkins through. Last gate. 127.64 goes second. So good effort from the young Tasmanian into second position. There's going to be a slight delay while we reboot the system. I'm not sure whose system we're rebooting. But anyway, we'll say it's the timing and scoring needs a restart. So we'll be back momentarily. Stay with us. We are rebooted and back in action with number 40. That's Vitvorak, under 18 competitor. Dvorak from Czechia. Missing school, maybe, or perhaps he's a university student, but the Czechs have been coming here for years. They find it a good winter training venue. It's a bit chilly in Prague. Bit of snow this year, apparently. And he's got the style of a Vit Prindis, carries the same first name. And great tradition in paddling, of course, in the Czech Republic. There was a time when they were 1, 2, 3 in the world. Jiří Priskevich still hanging on to the world ranking at the top end. He's ranked number 4. Some good top-ranked paddlers here. Lucien Delfour, ranked number 5. Finn Butcher, number 9. And Zigalin Hucheva in 10th. And Tim Anderson from Australia in 13th. So they come at the end of the field. Right now, it's the youngsters. And well up and on the money from the Czechia, Team Czechia. A little bit low on the last upstream, but well out in front of Jake Werrett from Tasmania, the early leader, and Toby Watkins in second. So Dvorak not under the 100, 103.06. Good effort from the junior. from Czechia. 20 seconds up on Jake and Toby. Rhys McRae from Australia, sandwiched between two internationals. Next to go, Cody Lindemann. Rhys going pretty well. When I look at the live results, I see blue. Blue is good, it's clean. You don't want to see a yellow square. That means you've got a penalty. He's in touch, he's just 3 seconds adrift and needs to hold on. Spinning offline a little bit, Rhys pushes in, gate 20, looks across, yep, the last gate's over there, buddy, get it and go. Through to the finish for the Australian. He's going to be the first of the Aussies so far in this race. 109.18 into second position for Rhys McRae. So great run, just 3 seconds adrift. It slipped away a little bit for him at the finish, but hangs on for second. Early days. 38 boats to finish, and the next one is Cody Lindemann, under 18 category from the United States of America, and he'll be followed by Monroe McQueen. So Cody, spot of bother at the top. And out of gate 16 through to the finish for Lindemann. Well, good lines. Steady as she goes. That's it. Pushes in, bounces up. So penalty on the last upstream, and it slips away for the American and goes around the last gate and back up off our screens. We pick up Monroe McQueen. Oh, just inside gate 15. And carries the speed in and out of 16. Nicely done by Monroe McQueen. He was close to the split time, just a second adrift at the top. And he's now slipped a little further back, 3 seconds. There's a big gap at the top between Dvorak and McRae of 6 seconds. So that's all good, tied upstream at the finish for McQueen. And through the last gate and away to the finish. 103.06 the lead. He's just outside. 104.63 and second place for Monroe McQueen of stage and screen. Sounds like it. Now it is Redlich. Alex Redlich on his run. Early touch. And Redlich followed by Luca Tavarasa. So both Redlich and Tavarasa in the under 18 category. Redlich out of gate 16. The upstreams are loaded at the bottom. There's 3 from 16 to the finish. Here's the second of those 3, number 17. Good exit. Just clips the inside of that downstream gate, 19. Redlich. So slipping away from the lead. 104 was Monroe McQueen, the best Australian. He's outside of that too as he crosses 122. 123.16 for Redlich. Into fourth position. Monroe McQueen 104.63, still in second, the best of the Aussies. Rhys McRae in third overall, 109.18. Current leader 103.06 from Czechia, Vít Dvorak. But it's tightening up. These juniors are coming down, and the second split time we will see coming up for Tavarasa, the Victorian paddler. So he had a good top section, but the middle slipped away, and now he needs a strong finish. These races all are used to make settle differences, if you like, but separate athletes, let's call it that, in terms of ranking for selection purposes to squads and teams. 121.48 for the Victorian Tavarasa, and that puts him into 4th position. What's great about these races is they're open. We saw Kevin Songberg, and here we're seeing Rob McConnell, another youngster with years of experience. And we go international again with Adam Semerad in the under-23 age group. Semerad from Czechia. Wearing number 33. So McConnell finishing off at the bottom. He's gone all right. Helps set up the race. He's coaching kids. And here he goes, right through the finish into 7th position. Well, clean sheet till gate 18 and then picked up a few. And now they're going back and checking and adding more, but never mind. Good to see Rob McConnell having a crack, number 33. Semerad from Czechia. Up on the split, up on his teammate, Dvorak. Good skill on the spin, the early spin. That's the way. You don't travel across and then back. Oh, very tight. Too tight maybe on 20 and 21. Lost a little bit on the exit, but he's up on the splits. 5 seconds on the split and 5 and 9 by the finish. Adam Semerad stamps some class on this field. He's got a long wait though, 20 boats or so to know whether that's good enough for the A final. 93.84. I'd say that's going to be tight. They're going to stack in very closely. Callan Grady on the course, works at Penrith Whitewater Stadium. Grady paddles canoe as well as kayak, so he's taken that up quite late. But a handy paddler, learns the course well, of course. And bib number 31 further up, Chris Tubb, in between his runs, helps out with technology at these races for Western Sydney Whitewater Club. And here we go through the bottom section for Grady, and the finish line, carrying a penalty. His only penalty was on the last upstream, gate 20. 4th place for Grady. 11 seconds adrift of current leader, Adam Semerad of Czechia. 93.84. I'd say that's not going to be far off. We call it the bubble. But he might be on the wrong side of the bubble. Chris Tubb across the doldrums, slow water into the drops. First step, and there's that diagonal. That's caught quite a few paddlers out today. Gate 15, knocking them over to the left-hand side. Hunter Florison at the top of the course. Florison from Western Australia. In the under-23 age group. Tall paddler, good reach, good in the canoe, good in the kayak, all-rounder. Let's see him go through 14 to 15. That's it, gets a good kick across and flicks it back. And then a bit early and just has to, well, dance his way around that pole and gets out of trouble, but the judges picked up a slight touch. So you're very close to the judges there, so, you know, you want to keep it clean. Otherwise, they give you a ticket. Good strong finish from Florison of Western Australia. So he was 5 down on the second split. He's not going to make it up on the lead, but a good strong finish into second position. Hunter Florison, 100.85. Warwick Draper, bib 29, seasoned. It's a nice way of saying experienced. And he's had his day, but he's still racing. Three-time Olympian Warwick Draper. And he'll remember racing here in 2012, where he qualified for his third Olympics at the trials. Fifth in Beijing, then started paddling canoes. Did very well in C1 as well at the national level. Coaches, teaches, and an expert on all things canoe slalom. Warwick Draper, though, surfed out of the eddy, and he's smiling. A wry smile from Draper, 50 at the top. Bit of loose change being added to his score through the second part of the course. And now Tristan Carter, number 28, powering across the pool. Best known for his form in the canoe, but you've got to say Carter is handy in the kayak. It's how he started. Ducks under 15. That looked very tight, and it's been called straight away. So you've got to get the head and part of the boat inside between the two poles, and Carter has been judged to have failed that. He needs a longer neck. And Carter through to the last upstream. Ties, yeah, that's it, very tight, very fast through the finish. It's a good run. It's going to be a very fast raw time, 90.96. He'll be disappointed with that, just a blemish on 15, which is costly. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that would have been a good marker for the final. So Bradley Wood, bib 27. That's a bright Aussie boat at the front, at least. Bit of green, bit of gold. Bradley Wood wasn't too far off on the split, plus 1.53, but a penalty on 12 and a little scrappy on the exit into 16. There's the synchro upstream at gate 4. We look up and it's Fergus Page Brown, another Tassie paddler. It was very good yesterday in the C1. Makes sure on that cross and flicks the boat downstream to gate 7. Bib 27, Bradley Wood finishing up. Making sure just gets his head in there, I'd say, and finishes in a 104.99. Holding on as best he can, Fergus Page Brown. That's a long surf to get out of the stopper, as we call it, at gate 12. But he's going well. A little bit adrift on the split, but he's playing against the whole field. Semerad in the under 23s. Fergus Page Brown is in the under 18s. Goes a bit too far across on the spin, dropped an edge. Costly mistake for the Tasmanian. A penalty on 15. And so time and penalties added together, and both amounting for Fergus Page Brown as he goes through to the finish, 109.96 and 7th position. That puts him 5th amongst the Australians at the moment. Overall, Australians, number 25, James Stamp, wandering back up and disappointed, I'm sure, with that line. Meanwhile, 24 at the top, Stepan Selnik, under 23 category from Czechia. So the Czechs arrived, some of them, only a few days ago, straight into the racing in the Southern Hemisphere, out of the fridge into the fire. Very cold winter in Prague this year, lots of snow. You're not sure what you're going to get when you come here. It's sort of a bit of rain and sogginess or heat, but certainly warmer. Anyway, through gates 11 and 12. Cernik paddling cleanly, paddling fast. And he is up on the split. 119.16 for James Stamp in 9th position. He'll be into the final B. Remember, we start looking now towards the top 12. 24 boats to finish. And the next one to finish will be this man from Czechia, Stepan Cernik. And he is challenging the lead that is held by another Czech, Semerad. 93.84 the lead. Here we go, Czech against Czech. 93.93, second position, and 0.09 the difference. That's all it is. Stepan Cernik into second behind current leader Adam Semerad. Hunter Florison for Australia in third, 7 seconds down, 100.85. Here comes Sevan Bio across the pool. In touch. Oh, good lift, good drive, good speed from 15 to 16. Staying in touch with the scoreboard. Very much so, as he sets up for the spin. And gets away and sets up for the final upstream. So Sevan Bio, the next Australian, very tight on the last up. And rides the diagonal and through to the finish. Quick power strokes. He's in the 90s, 95.52 into third position for Sevan Bio, Western Sydney Whitewater Club. And the first of the Australians at this stage. So good run, clean run from the local boy. Mark Zielonka from Canada. And he's followed by David Beck. Beck very sharp, top of the course on gate 4. We've mostly been watching the bottom, but every now and again, keep my eye on the top. I think Beck is the sole German representative here. And takes a tight line from 6 to 7. So a good fast start from the German. Wearing bib number 21. I recognise those paddles. They're Lettman paddles. So Lettman's a name and a legend in the sport. Klaus Lettman, a boat builder, and his son Joachim Lettman was the man who won a bronze medal in Barcelona 1992. I still like him, even though he beat me into fourth. Here we go, bib 21, going strongly, 2 seconds up on the top split, and no signs of slowing up for the German. Pushes off. Did he go for the punt? No, he didn't. He hesitated. That was a smart move. But a little scrappy on the paddle on 18, and there's a touch. So you've got to be got to have conviction on those moves, and away from the last upstream. And good run from the German, but outside. 93.84 is the lead. He's let it slip away. Goes into fourth position with 97.81. So that's what can happen on that final stretch. He was the virtual leader, and he finds himself nearly 4 seconds adrift of Adam Semerad, who holds the number 1 spot, 93.84. Stepan Cernik in second, 93.93. And Australian Sevan Bio third, 95.52. Yu Mishima of Japan in the open category, bib 20. Steady as she goes. He's not setting the splits on fire. If he can finish strongly, though, he might get into the first 3. My guess is Semerad, he's going to be close. Semerad and Cernik will be close to the qualifying time that's required, but Mishima, no. He's going to be down the field a little bit. In 5th place, 99.4. The Czechs just keep coming. Martin Panza, number 19. Comes through gate 12, clean so far. In touch, 0.12 on the split, takes a wide approach to 14, favouring that line and the faster water, but he's paid the price for that with a penalty and lost his line into 15, 16. I think he got lost. Like I said, the Czechs, they've just arrived here. That's the widest part of the course, and he's going, where's the flow? And he followed the flow. It took him way to the outside, had to come back and left it too late. So 50-second penalty on 15. He'll be in the B final. Oh, quickly gets his head inside 20, just. And over the 100. As Mark Crosby, the next Australian, 1.93, his advantage on the top split. So fast start from the boy in blue, Mark Crosby. Bib 18, fast across to 15, and then carries that speed into the upstream. Loads up the sweep stroke that whips the boat around the pole and takes him down. They keep this run going, and there's a good spin. Make sure they look back at that gate. It's done. Get on with it. And a good finish. Just needs a good diagonal now. And he picks it up. Good flow through the finish. Mark Crosby chasing down 93.84. He's going to be our new leader, 90.80. Crosby into the final. One thinks. Still 17 boats to finish. 12 will go through. But that's a pretty good shot to throw down. So one fast Aussie youngster followed by another Merle Long, both in the under 23 category. Long charges across to 15. Plenty of power in this new Australian. There we go, good turn. He goes wide, but that's enough. And he's high now for the last up. Make sure, good strong finish from Merle Long for Australia. He's a little adrift on Crosby, but goes second. 92.88 plus 2.08 seconds, not plus 2 penalties. Clean runs for the Aussies, Crosby and Long, 1 and 2 on the leaderboard. Here comes Dom Curtin. Well, 7 Australians in the C1 final yesterday. How many can we stack it with today in the kayak? So they've come out firing. Coaches might have been saying something to them yesterday. Come on, boys, get it together. Dom Curtin into the final section. He's got a penalty and he's slipped away on the clock a little bit. So needs a strong finish if he's going to be in touch. Savan Bio's the third Australian, plus 4.72 behind. But Crosby leads. Here comes Curtin with his time. Goes sixth, 95.77. So slots in behind Bio. Riley Galea. Yeah, there we go. Oh, just gets caught out. It's sticky in there at gate 12. And he had to take the wide line across to 13. So a little bit of time there and perhaps just clipped or not. Here we go. Galea in and out of 16, trying to make up for that error. He was 0.7 down on the first split. The second one coming up, 4.6 adrift. So catching up with him. That stickiness, but a good fast exit from the spin and closing down the run. Good encouragement from the side. He's sprinting 94.07. We're waiting on 17. We'll bring you that score on course, Kopek. Michal Kopacek from Czech here. Lots of Czech kayakers out here. He's in the under 23 category. He's followed by Sebastian Montalto. Montalto fast at the top. 1, 2, and 3. Very fast on the first part of the course from the Australian. And a good run from the man from Czechia, Michal Kopacek. He was equal on the first split. It's drifted away a little bit for him. He's going to be in the low 90s. Gap at the top. A good run from Crosby, 90.8. Leads 92.88. So there's gap. There's a gap. Kopacek goes third, 93.05. So Crosby and Long for Australia in the lead. Montalto on his way. That's a good exit from gate 11 from Montalto, charging across the pool. Good measured approach, good glide and control around the upstream 16 for Montalto. Here comes the second split time. He's in touch, 0.85. Good spin from Montalto. Crosby leads, 90.8. Montalto takes it tight. That's a good upstream to finish, and away he goes. This is a good run, 89, 88.36. What a finish from Sebastian Montalto. He comes from behind on the second split to take the lead by 2.4 seconds. Nailed that upstream, 88.36. Sebastian Montalto surely through to the final with 12 boats to come. Crosby second, 90.8, then Merle Long, 92.88. The young Aussies showing up as Kaylin Friedensen for the USA comes through to the bridge. And then we go to the independent nation athletes, Ivan Kozlov and Igor Smirnov, and followed by Yuki Tanaka and Yuzuke Muto of Japan. So very international flavor for the next few boats. And here through to the finish, well, he won't be happy, Friedensen. He's been caught on that last upstream. 91.25 the raw time, but a 50 added, so no A final. And Montalto provisionally goes through to race again against the best. And as we've said, for Australian honours and potential team selection, 2 weekends of racing. This week, the Penrith Open. Next week, the Australian Open. And all levels of the team and squads determined by the performances. Kozlov going well, 1.05 down on the top, but slips away out of touch on the second split, +6. Smirnov powers through 6 and 7. It was pretty handy in the canoe yesterday. And Smirnov chasing down Kozlov. Kozlov goes 10th, 96.66. Early on, that was a good score, and now it's not going to make the final. Montalto and Crosby are through. Smirnov challenging, good top section. Next split, and the final 5 gates, key, of course. We've seen so much slip away. And he's in touch, 0.85. Remember, Montalto just nailed this bottom section, so he'll need something special to take the lead. Not bad, but it won't be the lead for Smirnov. Good enough, though, to take him through to the final, I think. 91.6 and third. Splits the Australians, Crosby and Long, and takes him through. Igor Smirnov, a shot for the AIN into the final. Tanaka of Japan and Muto next to come. Tanaka going well. Nice and light on the water. Good glide. Japanese do like coming to Australia to train here this time of year. And they come in decent numbers and stay for a decent amount of time. Here we go, as he comes across for the spin. Good composure. He's 0.59 on the top split, up. 0.59 on the second split, up. But a little stickier than Montalto away, but through to the finish. A penalty on 19 added in, goes fifth, 90.98. So I think he will have to wait to secure his spot in the final, but good for Merle Long. Muto on his way, and then Ben Pope. The next three Australians still to come: Pope, Anderson, and Delfour. Plus lots of hot shots from around the world. Slovenia, they've got Srobotnik and Hochevar still to come. New Zealand have Finn Butcher, and Czechia have Jiri Priskovic. So Pope on course at gate 6. Spinning now, very fast on the spin, and just fights for his line and pulls it off. As the finish line beckons, it's not the best for Muto of Japan, goes 12th, 96.37. Pope going well. Throws his head back, stretches his neck, and gets under. Well, inside. Under's not enough. You've got to be inside. So you stretch your neck out. Good line, 15 to 16 for Pope. Knows what he's got to do now. He's 0.9 on the top, up on Montalto. He's still got an advantage. Holds on strongly on the inside blade, out of the spin, and a good fast last upstream. Good run from Ben Pope. 88.36 the time to beat. It's going to be tight. 89.04 goes second. Benjamin Pope through to the final. Joins Montalto, Crosby and Long. So 4 Aussies. And Montalto, the leader of this first run, or of this heat. And 0.68 behind is Ben Pope. Srabotnik from Slovenia. So 6 boats still to go. Srabotnik, Anderson, Hochevar, Butcher, Delfour and Priskovic. And Srabotnik, well, they didn't like that, the judges, what he just did on 16. And that'll be disappointing for the Slovenian because red flag is flying. Good fast line though through to gate 21. It's a good raw time in the low 90s. 91.41 would have been 4th, but a 50 on 16. As number 5, Timothy Anderson gets through 12 and 13, cuts across. He's well up on the first split. No doubt about that line through 16 for Anderson. Whips the boat around, flies under the bridge. She's a second up on Montalto. Good upstream. One more upstream to go. It goes a bit too far on the spin though. And just clips the far pole. What you travel out, you've got to travel back. So a little bit of time there, plus the touch for Anderson, but a good run. He's going to be low 90s and through to the final. 91.61 in 5th position. 3rd of the Aussies with one more to come, Lucien Delfour. So that penalty dropped him down a couple of places into 5th. Timothy Anderson, 91.61. 88.36 Montalto leads from Benjamin Pope, 89.04. Mark Crosby, 90.8. On course, Zigalin Hočiva, Slovenia, on the podium yesterday in the C1, and Finn Butcher at the top of the course. So Hočiva leading virtually after the first split and just behind on the second. Probably knows that he's going all right, just needs to finish this off. Very good, nice light paddling, crisp and sharp. Hočiva through the finish, low 91.35, 91.35. Hočiva goes fourth. Butcher now ranked number 9 in the world, kayak cross Olympic champion, just ducks inside gate 12. And gets that ride off the diagonal. Good control on the spin out of 16. He's 0.6 down on split 1. Split 2, he's equal. So reeling them in, Finn Butcher from New Zealand. And closing the run down strongly. Good line out, picks up the flume through to the finish. 88.36 to beat. A penalty or not? No, he's clean. He goes third. Finn Butcher, 89.72. They flashed up yellow and then took it off. So Delfour now, the last of the Australians. 2 boats to go. Delfour, Pliskovic. Delfour up by 1.4, flying across the pool. Once that pole position, if you like, last man down with the fastest qualifier, comes out of 16, still going fast. Sets up for the up at 17. Good glide, beautiful technical paddling from Lucien Delfour. He's still got it, 1.6 up, 2 gates to go for Delfour. Makes sure around the turn on 20. And through the last gate and away to the finish. 88.36 still holds. Will he get there? He does. 88.10. Delfour goes first with a Pliskovic of Czechia still to come. So in the men's kayak heats, Delfour Australia leads 88.1. Montalto Australia is second. Ben Pope is third. Butcher New Zealand 4. Crosby Australia 5. Oh. No, that's okay. Settle down, scoreboard. Crosby 5, Hočiva, Slovenia 6, Smirnov 7, Anderson 8, Long Australia 9, Tanaka Japan, Kopacek Czechia, and the one in 12th at the moment, nervously waiting, will be Semerad, as Yuri the Great comes out of the spin and through to the last upstream. He's down by 3. But that puts him really in contention. If he can just clear the last gate through to the finish. Yuri is going strong, takes the foot off the pedal, 90.65, 5th position, comfortably through to the final. So 1 check out, 1 check in. And Kopacek is 12th. He's hanging on. Lots of checks. So let's call them from the bottom up. Kopacek qualified provisionally in 12th for Czechia. Tanaka Japan in 11. Long Australia, good to see the youngster in 10th. Anderson in 9th for Australia. Smirnov for the AIN in 8. Hočiva Slovenia in 7. Crosby Australia in 6. Great run there. Yuri in 5th. Pliskovic in 4th, Butcher from New Zealand, and then 3 Australians, Pope, Montalto and Delfour, who takes out this men's kayak heats provisionally. Scores to be checked, and we'll be back very soon with the women's kayak final B at 11:10. So stay with us. field down the course. Setting the first time will be Eva-Alina Hocheva. So the last to qualify. Then it'll be Ria Shribar from the USA, Marcella Altman also from the United States. So Hocheva will be the first to go. And then conversely, at the end, the last boat down will be Naomi Fox, the fastest qualifier from the heats this morning. And she will follow Amalie Hilgertova of Czechia and Klaudia Svolinska, who won the World Championships here back in October, early October it was. So what a great field. Also, we have Zuzana Pankova from Slovakia, World Championship medalist, Kate Eckhart from Australia, Aki Yazawa of Japan, Georgia O'Callaghan, Australia, Katrina Bekova, Czechia, Klara Mrazkova, Czechia. I've mentioned the others. So, yeah, lots to race for in the final 3 Australians. So that's good. And plenty to go for. Apparently the Tim Tams are on the cards for the podium getters. So stand by, minutes away from the start, and we'll wait for the starters' orders. Is that all right? I'll just... Oh, here we go. And we're off with Eva-Alina Hocheva. And as often is the case, you just scrape into a final. Sometimes you think you haven't made it. The scores get reviewed and you're in, and you put all that behind you. You start afresh. And how many times have we seen an early boat set a score that stays on top or on the podium right through to the end? Can Hocheva be that person? And she's away quickly. Good move on the main wave, good spin, clean, tidy paddling, purposeful, well schooled in technical slalom skills. Simon Hocheva, and he's got 2 race athletes out here. Zingling, the brother, Eva-Alina, the sister. And here we go, across the pool. So faultless so far from Hocheva. Nothing to comment on. Good bows downstream, good fast line. 14 to 15 into the upstream. She's going for it. Hocheva, plenty of pace on the paddle. Pulling hard. I was going to say she's up on the split, but she's setting the split. And here we go for the spin. And she pulls that off nicely. Again, good tempo into the final upstream. This will be a good marker for the rest of the field. From the Slovenian through the last waves and through to the finish line. It's a great run. It's close to the 100. 99.38 for Eva-Alina Hocheva. And for reference, 99 was Kim Woods in the B. 96.31 was the fastest from the heats, and then it was a 99. So a very good start and something to chase for Ria Shribar, who's through the top section. Ria Shribar from the USA. A paddling family. Her father, Rock, paddles around the world. Shribar going around the gates, a double take at gate 11. It's a 360 and she did a 720. So time added voluntarily by the American. She was half a second adrift on the first split, so that's not going to look as good when she comes under the bridge, but still paddling cleanly. Good turn on 16. So Shribar comes out of 17, 1 upstream to go, and here it comes. But the judges have signalled a red flag on gate 3. So Shribar carrying a big deficit, and through, she lets it go through the finish. So not this time for Ria Shribar, as American colleague, teammate Marcella Altman surfs across the wave. Good air, nice and light, top of the water from Altman and through gate 7. So push too hard, Shribar, I fear, at the top. Just cut those lines and paid the price. Altman is nice, neat and tidy. Doesn't look like she's powering too hard, but she's not making mistakes. 1.1 adrift on the split, so in touch with a flourishing finish. She can challenge Hochevar perhaps. 99.38 is the time to beat. And a little sticky in the upstream there at 16. So Altman really needs to pull something out of the bag if she's going to challenge the leader. Goes wide. Oh, but gets a good rebound. That's interesting. I was going to say travelling out and travelling back isn't always the best strategy, but she gets a good rebound. And that was a fast turn downstream. But unfortunately for the American, a penalty picked up on gate 20, the final upstream. 106.22, so in the end, a fair gap there between Hochevar, current leader for Slovenia, Marcela Altman, USA, in second, 106.22. On course, the first of two Czechs back-to-back. And this one is Klara Mrazkova. And already, Mrazkova is collecting a few, well, more than hand luggage, I'd say now. It's got to be checked. There's a few touches before she gets to the first split. And she's 7 seconds adrift. Good pace, though. And since that, she's pulled herself back into the frame and has paddled cleanly. The deficit 9 seconds, though. So no impact, really, on the leadership of this race. Altman was second in 106.22. Mrazkova goes third, 111.14. Hochevar leads. On course now. It is Katerina Bekova. Bekova, she has a ICF ranking of 31. And this race will earn paddlers points, obviously, if you're in the final and you've got a competitive field, which we do. The better you do, the better your points. It's one of the sought-after races. Good spin, has to fight for the wave, keeps the bow downstream. So good start, good early pace from Bekova. Also very good in the kayak cross. And here she comes halfway now through a run, very tight in 11. And picks up the run. Sticky on edge, having to fight. And back across. So precious seconds there. She was 1.6 up on the first split. I think she's lost that advantage in that 12-13 sequence. Tight on 15. And too tight. They're on it there, the judges. So just got caught sideways. So Bekova, while fast, has fallen foul of the judges. And here she comes through, finishing off as the next boat. Georgia O'Callaghan, we see her through 1, 2, and now 3 at the top of the course, dancing and powering her way through the top section. Good early sequence of gates from O'Callaghan. It's good for the confidence. Nice smooth turn on gate 5. Good placement. Sets up, tries to pick up the fast line and flick the boat. A little check through 7, but a good third of the way down the course. A little bit eager. These 3 downstreams, 8, 9, and 10. This is a good run from O'Callaghan. She holds her line, holds her nerve in 11-12, 0.9 of a second up. powering across. Good technique, moving the boat downstream. Gets across well. And she is on a mission, is Georgia O'Callaghan. Conventional around 16, but very fast through under the bridge. And she still has an advantage on Hochevar, the early leader, 99.38. Just pulls it round on the last upstream. O'Callaghan now through to the finish. Lost a little bit of time in the eddy there. Had to paddle up. 98, 99, 99.66 goes second. Georgia O'Callaghan, what a great run. Clean all the way through. Up on the split. The only blemish was just a little low on the final up, but what a great run when it mattered in the final to take second position. Halfway through the field, 6 boats to go. Slovenia leads from Australia, from the USA. So hard to measure your run right and bury early mistakes, get your focus back and get the run back on track. And O'Callaghan was in the zone there, so really good. The other challenge is finishing off, and we saw some great finishing from Australians in the heats earlier, and that's what's needed now. Aki Yazawa of Japan, she's got time to make up on the second half of the course. She's 3.5 seconds adrift of the leader, Hochevar. After Yazawa, it's Kayak, then Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia, then Klaudia Zeleńska, the world champion of Poland, Emily Hilgertova, former European champion from Czechia, and Naomi Fox, the fastest in the heats. She will be the last to start. Here comes bib 11, Yazawa, 7.5 seconds adrift, as Kate Eckhart comes out of gate 4. And we'll follow Kate Eckhart through. 109.45 for Yazawa. Yazawa goes fourth. Kate Eckhart on the spin. Good surfing, good speed on the downstream end of the wave. Neat and tidy through the staggers. No drama. And into the upstream at 11, comes up, picks up the flume, holds it and goes out of 12, picks up the speed across the pool. Bit of work there. Keep it fresh. 1.5 seconds the advantage on Eva Alina Hochevar of Slovenia, the current leader. Eckhart, 3 ups to go in high, good turn out of 16. This is the Kate Eckhart we remember at the World Championships, just keeping it on track, on line, powering along into the spin, gets away early, clips the pole, the paddle trailing. So Eckhart has an advantage up until that point. Now she's chasing. She's chasing Hochevar, looking to split the lead between Hochevar and O'Callaghan. Through to the line, Kate Eckhart. 100.23 goes into third position. Hochevar leads, O'Callaghan, Australia in second, Kate Eckhart, Australia in third. So the Slovenian Eva-Alina Hochevar survives. 4 to go. What a great run that was from Kate Eckhart through the bridge. Just clipped a pole with her paddle, and you can see that form of Georgia O'Callaghan really evident there. She lost a little bit on the last start, but great delivery, great performance. So Australia 2 and 3. Pankova now on the money. Split 1 tick, 0.26 up. Winner yesterday in the C1, gliding beautifully across the flat water there. So no trouble so far on the course for Pankova. Good rotation, good exit. So she's going to be up, I think, on this second split, just 0.07. Nothing in it. Needs a good finish. 99.38 is the lead. Very fast on the spin. Bib 6 That's her seed coming into this. She's ranked number 22nd in the world in the kayak. Here she comes through to the finish. Pankova, 97.88. New leader for Slovakia, ahead of the Slovenian Evelina Hočevar. So 97.88, the time to beat for the last three starters, Zvolinska, Hilgertova and Fox. Zvolinska, poetry in motion, very smooth, reads the water very well. Doesn't look like she's motoring compared to some of the other athletes, but in fact, she really has good connection, good timing, reads the water very well, runs the boat beautifully around gate 11, picks up the flume, waits and goes. So 0.87, the advantage for Zvolinska over Pankova. Racing the Penrith Open. A late choice, the metre of snow in Krakow was part of the decision-making, I think. And here she is coming under the bridge. She's going to have extended her lead. It's a second, the difference between Zvolinska and Pankova. And she's tuned in, got the focus and the determination, finishing off strongly, nothing flashy on the last turn, holds on through to the line. She's got the advantage on the splits and she holds it, or does she? 97.91 goes second, 0.03. Pankova holds on, Zvolinska from Poland goes second, Hočevar in third, O'Callaghan now fourth, and Kate Eckhart in fifth. 2 to go, Hilgertova from Prague. Hilgertova. So far, so good. Dancing lightly on the waves. Comes out of 11. Releases the paddle, lets the bow flow around, and away she comes. Needs to dig in a little bit here. She was 0.4 up on the top split, so going well, but Slovinska was strong on the bottom. Hilgertova sets up the turn, does that all right on gate 16. It's going to be tight, needs the finish. Hilgertova out of 17. Now, oh, and just the chin on the inside pole on the spin might have been picked up there. So Hilgertova finishing off as Naomi Fox takes to the course through 1 and 2 and now 3. Naomi Fox on the run. Hilgertova finishing 101.92 off the podium. So Zvolinska leads from Pankova, from Hočevar, as Naomi Fox comes out of gate 5 onto the wave. Spins and holds and gets the boat back in the flow through gate 7. Gets across through 8, 9 and now 10, powering through the downstream section. But clips on the entry there to 11. And now needs to motor across the pool, so a little bit of time, 1.39. She was up, and now the penalty. So chasing hard, 96.01 the lead, 99.38 for the podium. Needs to power through this final section now. Good line into 16, and away through, down to the bridge and the final section. So the race is on. Spin neatly done. Just the final upstream now for Naomi Fox, and she's dropped low. We saw Hočevar, we saw O'Callaghan. Slovinska leads. Here comes Naomi Fox through the line. She slipped away into 6th position, 101.68. There's a penalty in that score, so no podium for Australia, but another victory at Penrith Whitewater Stadium for Klaudia Zvolinska. 96.01 was her score. Zuzana Pankova, 97.88 in second. And in third, Eva Alina Hocheva for Slovenia, the early leader. First boat down, we talked about it. Early start, put the run down, and she's held on to that podium position in third, 99.38. Georgia O'Callaghan, what a great run, the first of the Australians, 99.66. Then Kate Eckhart, 100.23, and Naomi Fox, 101.68. Hilgasova of Czechia in seventh, 101.92. Marcela Altman, USA, 106.22. Akiyazawa, 109.45. Klara Mrazkova, Czechia, 111.14. Katrina Bekova, 152.39. And Ria Shribar rounds out the field of 12 with 208.04. But congratulations, Klaudia Swilinska holds her form on the whitewater course here in Penrith with 96.01. What a run. Assuming they're going to kick it off pretty much straight away. I don't have any info on that. Well, because I was going to make a call about them. So straight in, no doubt, to the men's final. After that exciting women's final, and Slovinska coming out on top there. So same thing, field of 12. Countries represented are Czechia, Japan, Australia, the independent athlete nations, Slovenia, New Zealand. And the first boat to go, Michal Kopicek from Czechia. He'll be followed by Yuki Tanaka from Japan, Merle Long from Australia. Great to see young athletes making these finals. Tim Anderson, seasoned competitor, Olympian. He's next to go. He'll be fourth boat down from Australia. Igor Smirnov, AIN, then Hocheva, early starters. But we'll pick up the first boat. It's Michal Kopicek of Czechia, setting the score for the others to chase. And we saw Hocheva in the women's race get that podium, first boat down, and hung on all the way through, ending up in third. So Kopicek will be hoping for that, but a little bit adrift on the spin at gate 6, went too deep. So that penalty, and going deep isn't always helpful. Out of 11 through gate 12, Kopicek coming through. This is where the split time will show for the following paddlers. Down the step, keeping the boat facing downstream. There's another wave there. He gets held up. So Tanaka of Japan, Merle Long of Australia next to go. This run from Kopicek is definitely one that's attainable for the others. into the final up. He's very tight, good exit. He's under the 100, as you'd expect in the final. 95, 96.55, a penalty in that score. So the early marker set by Kopacek of Czechia, and bib number 9 on the top of the course, Yuki Tanaka. Yuki, very tight and high. His red and white boat matching the poles on the upstream. Beautifully done on the spin. Light on the water. And good tempo. Lovely to watch these fast, light paddlers. He's got a good split time too. 6 seconds it's showing for me. 6 seconds the advantage. That's massive. Yeah, it was a quick, nimble top, and he's keeping going. Yuki Tanaka from Japan. Dancing over the waves there, just waiting patiently, lifting the bow. Keeps the speed on the boat for 16. That was well done. Second split, he's still going to be up by some margin. There's the spin. Just lets that happen nicely. So he can get in high now if he wants, and he does. And he nails the exit. So new leader coming up from Japan, Yuki Tanaka. 86.67. 86.67 if you like. That was the fastest, well, 88.1. That was Lucien Delfour. So there we have it. These early starters in the final, throwing down the gauntlet. 86.67 clean run from a Yuki Tanaka. Come and get me, he's saying. Mel Long. He's going to have a crack at that. No fear in this young Australian. Strong paddler. All very tight in gate 11. Having a fight, use that muscle. He's a strong boy, is Merle Long. He's 3 seconds adrift, but I wouldn't be too worried about that because Tanaka was on fire. So you just need to stay as close as you can to that, and you might get a result out of this effort. Here comes Merle Long down to the bridge. Comes through and around. What a fast upstream it was, 17. So he's really putting it all down. He was good at the finish in the heats. Let's see what he's going to try now. And he goes tight and gets the flume and away through to the finish. Merle Long, good run. Just the finish line and the clock. And he goes second, 92.07. Tim Anderson on course. 92.07. It was 92.88 before, so slight improvement. Good paddling there from Merle Long. Tim Anderson on his way out of gate 6. So Anderson fast, very tonic, as the French would say, which means he really gets good grip. And he's quick, light on his strokes, steers his way through gate 12, now picks up the pace. There we go. Knows this water so well. Tim Anderson flying across, but he's carrying a little bit of a deficit, 1.5 seconds. That's not too bad. Means that with a fast, and he starts to pull it together around gate 16. That's a fast turn as he narrowed it down and in high. So chances being taken. Very early spin. That's a good line. Tim Anderson on fire in the last few gates. So he's closing the run down well. Stays on the inside in the fast water. Good finish from Anderson. 86.67 to beat. He's just outside in 88.88. The fast run, a penalty on 18 was added. Interesting. So a bit of splashing around on 18, that's the spin. So perhaps there was contact there. 88.88 into second for Tim Anderson. Merle Long in third, 92.07. Leader still Yuki Tanaka of Japan, 2 seconds out in front. 86.67. Well, bib number 10. Is Shmurnov from the AIN. Igor Shmurnov. ICF ranking at 65. He's 2.7 down on that first split. And out he comes from gate 16. I look at him paddling and I think Finn Butcher. Butcher from New Zealand is in black. Sits tall in the boat. And I was just confused for a moment, but it is Shmurnov. Butcher still to come, and we wish Butcher well. He's and Shmurnov carrying a 50 from a 15. So he crosses the line, plus 58.7. So down into fifth for Igor Shmurnov. Tanaka still leads from Anderson and Long, and I think the penalty for Anderson might have been the tail as he turned away from the gate. It flicked up. So not something he might have known about. But if there's contact, there's contact. It's boat body or paddle. So it's still sitting on his score. Anderson in second. Tanaka leads. Long in third. Here comes Zigalin Hocheva. Ziggy settles in very high. Just waits to get his head around the pole. Smart move. The young paddlers might just be a little bit too edgy with that and go for the 50, but Zigalin shows experience even with his young years. Good water there for him through 15 into 16. The wave just flushed through. He's a second adrift on the first split, but that was a good section. Here comes the second split. As he comes around 17, the second split is out of order. Not always accurate, so we'll leave that be. And here he comes, good push off the wall, the last up and away to the finish. Hocheva for Slovenia. Zigalin crosses in 87.38. 87.38. And it's not showing yet, but that would put him ahead of Anderson into second position as Ben Pope comes out of 4. Pope. We're into the second half and 3 more Australians still to come. Pope, Crosby and Del 4. Pope is on course. Crosby next to go. Zigalin Hocheva confirmed 87.38, goes into second behind Haneke. Closed the gap to 0.71 on the leader. And he's ahead of Tim Anderson in third, who's the best Australian so far. Ahead of Mel Long and now Pope. Pope got tangled on 11, bit of time there as well as the penalty. So he's going to have to throw it all out there in this last section. 3 ups, so there's a chance if you can nail the ups, put some magic into it. That's not bad on 16. 17's hard to take time on, but he does it well. He has to climb up though for the spin. Anderson went for the very early spin and it looked very fast, but he was judged to have clipped it. Pope gets away cleanly but stickily and through to the finish. Ben Pope for Australia. He's fighting hard, but he's into the 90s, so outside the lead. 92.5, 5th place for Ben Pope. Behind Tanaka, Hocheva, Anderson and Long. Mark Crosby out of 4. Glides well. Yesterday on main wave in the final. As a switcher, he let go of his paddle. No trouble with that today. Both hands on the kayak paddle for Crosby, and he's going well through the top section. Two seconds adrift, but 2 seconds puts you in third ahead of Anderson. There's a bit of a margin between the first and the third. Keeps the speed on there, settles it a little bit in 15, judges 16. There's not much between these athletes around that turn, but there is on this final sequence, 17, 18. Got to keep the power on where you can, get the speed out of the water. And through to the final upstream on the left for Crosby, staying off the pole, gets the push and needs a fast finish, and through. It's a clean run again. Mark Crosby crossing in 93.06 into sixth position, 93.06, so seconds slipped away a little bit. He's 6 seconds off the lead of Tanaka, 86.67 the time to beat if you want to win the Penrith Open, and 88.88 or 87 if you want to place on the podium. So a man who knows how to podium. He's racing right now. There's 4 boats to go. Yuri Priskovic, the next one, the man from Prague. He's almost an Australian now. His family's here, his kids are in school. They love it, and here he comes, good long strides across the pool. He's digging in deep, is Yuri Priskovic. He's a second adrift on the top split. That's all. That's nothing. And he nails 16. And here he comes into the final right-hander. That's good, shows his power there. Goes early into the spin, squeezing the lines here. Yuri through the last up, in high, in tight, very tight on the exit. Can he make it? Can he make it? He just makes it, but dirty passage through the last gate for Yuri. Cut that line to tight, 87. So penalty on the last gate, 89.88, and he drops into fourth with that. Anderson holds on. Butcher. Now we're into the last 3. Finn Butcher. Good paddling to stay in the fast water. Splashing through the middle, but not slowing him up. A little bit of a scare there out of 11. Missed a stroke, but back on track now. Finn Butcher, he's 2 seconds adrift on the top split. I don't think he's going to have made up too much through this section because of that wayward exit out of gate 11, but he's paddling well, fast into 16. Butcher turning it on, chasing the clock now. You can see him pulling harder on the paddle, keeping the pace on into the final upstream. A little clumsy on the spin, so there's a penalty for Butcher. Takes it all, tries that tight line and pulls it off through to the finish, stays in the flow again, but Butcher into the 90s, so off the podium, 92.76 for Finn Butcher. He goes 7th. Priskovic into 4th, splits the 2 Australians. So Yuki, Japan, Zigalin from Zigalin Hocevar, Slovenia 2nd, Tim Anderson still in 3rd. And here comes Sebastian Montalto, still 2 Australians to come. I think I miscounted earlier. And Montalto, good exit. 2nd adrift, perhaps a little measured. He's chasing hard. Anderson is 2 seconds off the lead, still on the podium. So there's a chance here for Montalto to get right up there. Bib 13, the green boat, the racing green. Just got to now get the spin away, and he does. Checks a little bit, and into the last up, and it's a good one for Seb Montalto, away through to the finish now. Good line on the exit, chasing hard. Seb Montalto through to the finish, and it is 89.08. Sorry, the clock not running for me. 89.08, that puts him just off the podium by my reckoning into fourth place, 89.08, so 0.8 of a second. 0.2 of a second. Anderson in third. Yuki Tanaka still leads. 2 to go. 1 to go. And it is Delfour. Early touch. His split is 2 seconds adrift, and that includes the touch. So he's fast, and now he needs to find 2 seconds on the bottom to win or hold his pace to podium. If there's a man who knows how to measure a run on Penrith Whitewater, it's Lucien Delfour. What can he do? What tricks can he pull? Just squeeze a little bit out at the bottom, gets the spin, now picks it up and attacks the upstream. The final up for Lucien Delfour. The final up, he whips it around, gets his head in the gate, and away he goes through to the finish. He's in the 80s, but are they low 80s? 87.27. I think Delfour, if all is good, is into the podium, and he squeezes. That's right, he does. Yuki Tanaka in first, Lucien Delfour in second, Zigalin Hochevar third, Anderson falls off into fourth. So second place for Australia with Lucien Delfour. Gold for Japan with Yuki Tanaka. When was the last time Japan sat at the top of a class start list like this? I'm not sure, but a great run from Tanaka early on. Second boat off, and he takes the win. Great race from the last man down, Lucien Delfour, carrying a penalty, and he's only 0.6 off, so something to think about there for him. He held the form all the way through. Hochevar's third, Anderson second of the Aussies, and in fourth. Then it's Montalto, a third Australian, in fifth. Jiri Priskovic in sixth. Then Mel Long, Australia. Ben Pope, Finn Butcher, Mark Crosby, Mikhail Kopacek, and Igor Shmurnov rounding out the 12. So congratulations to Tanaka, Yuki Tanaka from Japan. What a great final.